president that maybe wasn't watching, but they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back.
The third world is not poor. You don't go to poor countries to make money. There are very few poor countries in this world. Most countries are rich. The Philippines are rich. Brazil is rich. Mexico is rich. Chile is rich. Only the people are poor. But there's billions to be made there, to be carved out and to be taken. There's been billions for 400 years. The capitalist European and North American powers have carved out and taken the timber, the flax, the hemp, the cocoa, the rum, the tin, the copper, the iron, the rubber, the bauxite, the slaves, and the cheap labor. They have taken out of these countries. These countries are not underdeveloped, they're overexploited. The third world is...
And that man ain't lying. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders. It's a great millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto this like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. As you can clearly see, the first video, Trump talking about they want it back. They want everything that they stole. They want it back. And this one right here, I was holding this back for a while, but this is a perfect example of what's really going on around the world, and the misplacement of what they call third world countries, which are not really third world, because it's impossible to be. The whole entire earth is filled with minerals and resources, yet everywhere this man goes, wow, see that's spiritual. Everywhere this man goes, it seems that it doesn't, everywhere he goes, the earth doesn't flourish for him. All right? Because he is not blessed. Matter of fact, no, I was laughing because the scripture came to mind. Genesis 4 and about, is it 13? No, I gotta go up. Genesis 4 and 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand, till thou tillest the ground. It shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And this is Cain. All right, Cain got cursed from the Lord. So the Lord took his pigmentation. And this curse, not only the pigmentation, everywhere he goes, the earth rejects him. All right? Precept that. Malachi. One. It says the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet you say, when in hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. It shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. The people whom the Lord has indignation forever is Esau. All right? Wherever Esau is, it's accursed. Is not yielding is strength. All right? It's not going to give, the earth is not going to give its strength, because he's rejected. Literally, he's rejected by the world. Um, Habakkuk 2 and 3, no, 2 and 4. It said, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. So Esau is adverse to everything that the Lord created. All right. He has a rotten soul, so to speak. But the just shall live by faith, which is who? The Israelites. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. You heard what Trump said. We all know this. We all know this. It's not only history, it's happening in real life, real time. All right? Real time prophecies. Real time indications. These people go around raping and robbing and stealing and taking whatever they fucking feel like it. Yet, and they turn around and insult the places that they say, saying it's beneath them. They're not advanced, but yet you need the material from these places to be in advance. Make that make sense. All right? Because this man's a goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. St. John 10. Why is he doing this to me for? St. John 10 and 10. It says, the thief cometh not, but to steal and to kill and to destroy. The thief purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. So they go and take the natural resources from lands and then turn around and charge what they stole to everyone else. And here it is, the Lord created everything on earth for the sole purpose of man. Technically, I gotta say it like that, everything's supposed to be for free. The planet Earth itself is not indebted to no one. All right? It's impossible to be indebted. This is not our world. This is the Lord. The Lord created the earth for the service of men, not the service of certain classes of men. All right? Not the service, not to keep the very rich fat. The earth is for the service of all men, even the heathens. The heathens wasn't around in the earth for a long period of time. They didn't fuck the earth up like that. But why this specific group of heathens, and all of a sudden things are going extinct? Things are turned upside down. All right? The earth itself is not yielding its strength. It's amazing the amount of evidence that is built up against this man. And yet you still have people trying to defend this man, to defend the acts. The United States have no business in these other countries and taking their resources. You don't own nothing. You shouldn't have owned nothing. But this is that mighty empire that the scriptures is talking about. And is ran by the biggest thieves in the planet Earth. Okay? And it says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. This is why the United States of America is nothing but a mixed bag of craziness. It has all the nations there. Revelation 17 and 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the water that is represented in Revelation is not talking about actual water. It's talking about all the nations. This is the land where all the nations are heaped up to Esau, paying tributary to Esau. Why is this place have all the people on the planet Earth, every nation under the sun? because they stole from every damn every land that it can. Took away the work for the people. Took away the very riches for the people in their own land. He mentioned rubber. Rubber is famously created in Africa, the Congo. All right. So that means that in reality, Africa, I'm just gonna use just that one material of rubber, should be the rubber capital of the world. But it's not. Okay? That area of the Congo, the people of the Congo, should be very, very rich right now. Their economy should be booming. They should have, I'll say 100% employment. But it's not. Why? Because you have a particular race of people that's stealing every goddamn thing that they can. Isaiah 10 and 13. For he said, by the strength of my hand have I done it. And by my wisdom, for I am prudent, I have removed the bounds of the people. I have robbed their treasures, their gold, their silver. And I believe I was watching something. Well, silver right now is finally, silver is on the uprise. If I'm not mistaken, an ounce of gold is over $4,000, which is fucking crazy. And silver is supposed to be right under it. Maybe not thousands, but a couple hundreds. All right, close to a G. But it's been suppressing that. Why? Because they control the market. Them controlling the market of resources, they have robbed the people of the natural thing. It took me a while as a man to understand how war really operates according to how the ancient world used to be before Esau really got his footing in there. And then once you understand it, it's like, oh shit. The reason why wars never really last back then, because you had to pay off the military. So wars wasn't hundreds of years. A war could just go for a season and so forth. You had to pay the military, and you had to pay the military correctly. Now with the whole fiat currency, you have endless wars because you're always printing wars. So what's the backing of today's currency for the United States? Well, it was a backing. Oil, which is petrodollar. Okay? So the oil is backing up the dollar, which the U.S. right now is on a scrambling. They're scrambling because, believe it or not, the USA is bankrupt. They don't want to tell people that. Donald J. Trump don't want to go out there and spill the beans. This is why he has the so-called non-war president is planning to go to war, a foolish war, which he call a drug war, which is just another form to say we're going to go steal people's resources and control that. And it's still not going to go back to the people. Now, I seen an article. Hold on for a second, real quick. So, Donald Trump confirms 1776 checks for Americans, and money's already on the way to 1.5 million recipients. So, he's planning to give people. Meanwhile, millions of Americans are waiting for an update about the potential rebates worth $2,000. And in today's economy, that is worthless. $2,000 can't maybe take care of your rent. Maybe. So here it is. they finally giving back to the people, but it comes with a cost. All right, it comes with a real cost, and they're not telling people what it is. He wants to get the, like I always say, to the spirit. He desires the love of the people. Even though he's doing them dirty, he desires that love. So he's planning to give people 1776, which is, you know, there's that number for the year, and $2,000, which is going to go right back into the economy. It's going to go right back to the bills that everybody owes. So they robbed the people of their treasures to this very moment, to this day. Okay? And it says, and have robbed their treasures and have put down inhabitants like a valiant man. And how was the America was won? By the gun, by the Gatling gun, to be exact. All right? By the Gatling gun. They couldn't take down Gad, Reuben, on their own accord. They needed weapons. So they took the treasures. This is why they had Fort Knox, which they already removed all the gold, the silver, and so forth, and left everybody here all fucked up, right? With no true meaning of money. And it says, my hand hath found the nest, the riches of the people, and as one gathereth eggs that are left, I have gathered all the earth, and there was none to move the wing or open the mouth or peeped. So they think in their minds, this is how they're in that conquering mind state. This is why Trump is acting the way he is. He's roused up his supporters to get that trumped up, to get everybody all roused up so they could continue doing what they have done in the past, to rape, rob, and conquer. Really, just to rape in this case, and not conquering shit, because everybody has the same means of weapons as they do. And it says, none of the peep, meaning there was no resistance. That's a thing of the past. Now these nations are pissed off. Now these nations are angry. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the sword magnify itself against that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift up, or as if the staff should lift up itself if it were no wood. So it's not your power, it wasn't your strength, what you going by. The whole thing right now is happening. They go by the past because in their mind, like, yeah, we took this down, we did this, we did that. We could continue doing that. It wasn't you. That was the Lord's doing. When the Lord allowed here in Americas the inhabitants to get destroyed by you, it wasn't because of your might and your strength. That was all because of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So going back at Habakkuk 2 and 5, this is why the Lord's going to get your ass, you dumb devils. That's how he's going to get you. You think in this weird mind, even the experts have stated, yeah, America could go attack Venezuela. You could take down they could take the airports, secure it. Somebody was breaking it down. And it's gonna take days to get into the capital to go after for that president. And there's nothing but jungles. There's nothing but jungles. So it's these quests, these attacks, is not really they're not conquering the way everybody think they're gonna conquer. Like they're just gonna go up in there, blast everybody. We're America, blah, 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 blah. No, there's more to it. A lot more. This is why they needed Trinidad and Tobago They needed their help to bounce back. They start up in Puerto Rico, and they needed Trinidad because they can't just go up in there, shoot up the joint, and just go and take everything. Nah, there's more to it. All right, they have to secure the airport. That's one. Then the resistance of the people. You can't bomb every fucking thing. You will get bombed back. People are fighting back. These nations are not having it. All right, they are going to fight back. The days of Esau just going around taking shit on his own accord is over. All right, it says verse 6, Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and taunting proverb against him, saying, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Unbeknownst to the average moronic Edomite, who think that this is America, this is the most mightiest army, the mightiest military might in the world. Well, guess what? You have your worst possible enemies are actually in alliance with each other. So you attack one nation, it's like you attacking the other nation. There's a lot of proxy wars. This is why wars today, it's not an overnight thing, because they have endless supplies and it's not direct. You have a lot of proxies. These proxy wars are like between Russia and America. They'll use America go attack another nation representing Russia, not direct. But what Russia and these other nations are doing, they're supplying these nations with high-tech weaponry, just like how the U.S. and NATO supplied Ukraine. That Ukraine war should have been done long ago. But they kept it going because they were supplying them. So all these nations said, the Hebrew word for debt, thick clay, is abayat, which means debt. All these nations are in heavy debt. All right. And nations are not buying U.S. bonds no more. And one of the top nations on the planet Earth that has majority of the U.S. bonds is China. So China has a lot of investment in Venezuela. Matter of fact, let me get the video again.
And the United States of America is in massive trouble. Massive trouble. Why? I'll tell you why. Venezuela. Massive issues. So, Venezuela is in debt to China. And Venezuela decided to say to China, hey, we'll pay off our debt in oil. China is completely okay with that. They're a growing economy. They're smart, they're civilized, and they have a lot of common sense. The United States of America, however, has no common sense because they're led by an idiot. So Donald Trump says, we're going to go into Venezuela, and it's going to be all about drugs. And we know it's not about drugs because he's just pardoned a man that brought $400 million worth of cocaine into the United States of America. It's about oil. The United States is going to Venezuela and invade Venezuela and attack Venezuela because of oil. And the reason they're going to do that is because the US of A is bankrupt. They need resources. They need oil. So now the oil that Venezuela promised China, they're not going to be able to deliver because Donald Trump is going to steal it because of an invasion. And that's going to piss off the Chinese. And the Chinese are much stronger than the United States of America in so many ways. So are the Chinese going to attack America? No, they don't need to. They'll just cut off the supply chains. And America will die slowly. And it's going to be because of Donald J. Trump.
Okay, which is beautiful, it's perfect. In fact, I gotta read this again. It says, verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, that shall be booties unto them. So that thick clay, that debt that America is owed, it owes all these nations. And just one false move, these nations are gonna pull, because the United States of America's debt is heavily owned by China. And like the man said, they could easily not keep up their bargain. Okay? This is an international fuck up. Because if Venezuela is trying to make the ends meet, but America's going around stealing their oil, that's a problem. Okay? And it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, which spoil mean plunder, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. This is why America is that great melting pot that has all nations under the sun. Okay? It says, because of man's blood, for the violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that covet an evil covetousness, which we all witness with Donald J. Trump. Talking about, we want our land back, we want this. That's not even yours. That's not yours. Never was yours. All right? And if they had kicked you out, if you go into somebody's house, they have every right to kick your ass out. Just because they allow you to visit, I don't mean that you own the fucking house. Oh, this is ours. You see how the devil thinks? It says, to his house, and that he may set his nest on high. That's because why? They want to escape. All the shit that they're doing, when the builders do, they want to escape. They don't want to deal with it. But you're going to have to deal, Esau. You're going to have to be dealt with. Okay? It says that he may be delivered from the power of evil, meaning bad times. All these things is happening is the revealing of evil times to come. Eve meaning time, ill, bad. So the bad times are coming for America. And like the man said, because of the current rulers. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.